Today we're going over relative transformations. There's a lot of cool things you can do with this. And look at this. You can make it. You can even make a crane that can move. So in this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know about it. So we might as well get to it then. There's a very fundamental thing you got to learn about this, alright? If I go into here and I make a sequence, I'm going to call it box. If I were to go up here, grab a little cube. If I were to open up our sequence, see it up here, press track, put it in the cube. See how there's a transform here? We do not want to use this transform. We want to press this little plus sign and add a relative transform, which is this green one. So you want to delete your old one. So now you have just this new relative. Let me see, where it says right there, relative. Now, what is this? What does it do? Okay, so basically, your regular transform, what it would do is it takes 2 points in the world and it makes the object move to the other point, if that makes sense. So it's pretty simple, but this is slightly different. So basically, the way relative works is that it adds on the coordinate number, okay? So first, we press the little key. You're gonna realize a bunch of stuff appears. So what you want to do is just turn all of this to 0. Now, the reason why that happens is that if you add a number to something, it'll move it relative to where it is originally. When the sequence began. If I stop the sequence, the cube will be up here. But if I don't know, I'll go back to 0, let's say. But if it was actually in game, it will still be up here, if that makes sense. So when I do another sequence, I'll add another 500, and I'll go up from, there, not the 4. It's a horrible example, but I'll show you in game later. So after you have your key ready with all your zeros, what you gotta do is just move this playhead over here, and then make another key, and then make all of this 0 again. Bingo! Okay, and now we have sort of what we want. So we'll just put it right here. So basically, if I go into these other keys, what these are doing is basically adding. So if I added 500 to X, when the sequence plays, it's gonna add 500 to X, if that makes sense. You can do this to everything. So if I can add 500 to the pitch, so it'll rotate weirdly. But you gotta understand, doing this isn't the sequence, alright? Doing this is the sequence, but where it ends up will become the new origin point of the object in the next sequence if we repeat it. So to do that, let's just very quickly, let's just make a little cinematic sequence device. And then let's add a trigger. Every time we use this trigger, the box is going to move forward and spin a bit. If that makes sense. You want to play the function when this is untriggered. And we don't really want it to loop. We'll just keep on triggering the trigger. And make sure, this is very important, finish completion state override, keep state, so it stays where it is. So let's go see how this works. Alright, here we are in game. If I were to click on this trigger, you can see our box moves. And then it'll stop. Now, if I click the trigger again, as you can see, instead of starting from over there, it does it again and turns another 500. It's pretty cool. If I do it again, oh, it's still going, So this is what relative movement is like. Instead of when the sequence begins again, it starts from here again and then goes over there and then goes back and then does it again. It does it from where it is, if that makes sense, and adds it onto its current rotation, location, etc. So it's very, very useful. Alright, so we got the basics down, but now we're going to do some cool things, alright? And as you can see, we have a nice little crane here. Now what we're going to do with this crane, you're probably wondering, well, we're going to make it so you can move it like this. So I'll rotate around like that. So let's get to it. So there's 2 things we're going to need, alright? Cinematic sequence, obviously. Here's the cinematic sequence. I'll put it out. We're going to need 2 of these. And we're going to call this one, this will be left, and this one will be right, just to keep it simple. And then what we can do is we'll grab a switch, make sure it's this one down here, grab it out, and this will be our left switch. We're not going to make a right switch just yet, because we want to change a few things around. Device model, you can make it as anything, but for now, I'm going to make it antique. So then we'll just put it right here. This can be in any way you want. You can put it sideways so it looks a bit cooler. And then what we can do is the turn on text will be move left. The turn off text will be stop. Or anything you like. Interaction time, try to make that at 0 so it's responsive. You can also use a custom mesh, but we're not going to right now, but you can if you want. And make sure initial state is off. So if I were to duplicate this, turn it around like a bit, and then you could probably guess what I'm gonna call this one. Oh, here we go, the right switch. Who's seen that one coming? Okay, now after this, go into your content browser, get new cinematic. This will be left. So this is the left one, okay? So we're gonna do exactly what we did with the box, but to the top of this crane. So we're gonna add it to click this, click transform, click the plus sign, add relative, delete this one. Press the key, fix all of this. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, if you just grab this, Control C, and then Control V it, you now don't have to put all the zeros into the last one. So this is left, so what we want to do is, if you can see in rotation, we're not doing locations and we're doing rotation. So what we want to change is the yaw. The yaw is the right one that like turns it. So what we want to make it so, we want to do 360. So just type in 360 to get exact. What this will do is it'll make it do a full rotation. Now you're like, well, I don't want to make it do a full one, but you don't understand. If you don't do this, it'll look weird. And then also, this is very important. For your keys, once you click on both of them, make sure right click, and then you can go down to here and press linear, or you can press 1, or not just press 1, you can press 4. So it's just a quick way of doing it. So now we have our little crane. Is it too fast? So if we want to change that, we can also just increase it to maybe 20 seconds and then just move this bar, which automatically moves all keys. So now it's a lot slower. That's cool, right? Also, just to make sure, right click this, edit section, keep state, and also 60 FPS. All we can just do is copy this. So we're just going to duplicate it and call this right. Once we go into it, it'll have all the exact same things we just made. Except in yaw, instead of 360, what you want to make is a minus 260. So it goes the opposite direction. So now it will spin right, if that makes sense. It's pretty cool. So now once you're done with setting up all this, you want to put your left one into your left one. Into your left into left and right into right. Now once this is done, make sure and both, if you click both of them, you can edit both of the settings at the same time. Make sure loop playback is on and finish consistency override. Force keep state. All our settings are now set up. We just have to connect them now. So let's connect. If you go into left switch, you want it to turn off when you pick right switch on, turned on. If that makes sense. And you also want to do the exact same thing for right switch, but it's turning off when left switch turns on. Now, if you click on your left sequencer, you want to play the function when left is turned on and stop the function when left is turned off or right switch is turned on. And the opposite for this, so play function when right switch is turned on, stop function when left switch is turned on, or right switch is turned on. Or off, I mean, I'm stupid. So this is what we want to do. So once all that's done, I also increase the interaction radius. So once that's also done, let's just changes. So if we now go in game, we can now control our things. Press move left. Oh, now it's moving left. If we press it again, we'll now stop it. If we press it again, it will continue from where it stopped. And now if we press the right, I'm sorry, that's also called move left. I forgot to change it. That's the right one. It'll move right. And if I press this again, it'll turn off. So this now works pretty well. And even if I move left and then press this one, it'll swap. You see? So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now, what you can also do with this is you can put it into a pop-up dialog device. Remember, it will activate when you turn on both of these. So you can put it into a pop-up dialog device, and you can also you have a HUD where you press 2 buttons, like left and right. That's like controls. And you can have all that. It's pretty cool. If you ever played like Half-Life 2, you know what I mean. Like that one scene with the dock. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, just imagine the things you can do with this. Like, oh my, that's so cool. Imagine you can have like a game where you have to hit people with a crane or something, you know what I mean? Or anything that spins. This can be anything that spins. It doesn't have to be a crane, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be spinning either, it can be moving around and everything. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also watch these videos on the screen right now. They're the best videos I've ever made in my life. Okay, so go watch them right now.